Hi, Robin here, going to look at legal, moral and cultural and ethical issues. This is for the OCR A-Level Computer Science. Okay, we're going to look at automated decision-making. So with automated decision-making, there are a couple of aspects immediately that connect to laws, Data Protection Act and the Computer Misuse Act. When something's automated, it obviously is therefore meaning that the computer is doing it itself. And therefore, does that computer keep the data safe? Is it using data appropriately? Or is it kind of accessing data it shouldn't be doing? Equally, is that automated decision actually making sort of decisions about, say, who the employees are, whether they should be hired and fired? For example, a lot of organisations will have, when you sort of apply for a job with them, they might have some form of like pre-test that you have to carry out. Well, is that pre-test fair? Is it getting accurate data that it needs to? And how is that decision being made? Are you being denied by a computer before you're actually getting a fair chance to apply for that company and apply for that job? Again, the automated decision making may kind of use sort of inappropriate methods to access and use systems, and therefore shouldn't be able to be like manipulated anyway, and therefore it could be used for hacking. So again, if you're using some sort of AI, you shouldn't be able to ask the AI for everybody's password, and it shouldn't generate them for you and allow you to misuse that in some way. So therefore there's a requirement on the company to ensure these things are in place. Other things here, such as copyright laws. So if we're using automated usage, particularly with something like AI, if that's generating things for us, where's it getting that from? Is it stealing it effectively from somebody else to generate it for you, or is it doing it in a fair way? And again, with automated decision making, it's easier to track people. So on a website, for example, you can track people's movements around a website, what they're clicking on, how fast they're clicking on each thing, how long it's taking them to move from one place to another. And therefore, should that be used to monitor workers' behaviours and how productive they're being, or can we deem that as inappropriate? So from an ethical point of view, we've got to make sure there's no bias or discrimination. It should always be transparent so that workers know what it is that is actually happening and where decisions are coming from and what justifications are being put in place. And again, that all attempts are there to take responsibility for errors and to sort of fix those errors wherever possible. Other things such as human oversight should be considered, and therefore there should really be a human review at all opportunities to make sure that the decision made is appropriate, particularly if this is employing something like sort of in a situation where an employee is being sort of losing their job in some way. And again, protecting people's data, so making sure that data isn't again being misused, again, stumbling and being accessed in a way that's not intended. Moral considerations of this would be how fair this is happening, whether there is consent in place and whether the workers can feel like they have some autonomy over what they're doing, or whether they're being influenced unfairly by the automation that's there. And again, what impacts that's having on people's jobs, and if you can automate somebody's job, does that mean that they then lose their job? Other cultural considerations are important here. So across the world, there are different attitudes to this. For example, in China, there is much more surveillance and government oversight of behaviours, whereas in many ways in the EU and UK, this is sort of deemed as kind of perhaps inappropriate, not something that people are comfortable with. Again, kind of how willing people are to accept things like AI into the workplace and the appropriateness of that. And again, making sure that it's inclusive for all and people aren't being disadvantaged by their disability or social economic background in any way. Okay, well, thank you for watching. I hope you found that useful. Please do like and subscribe, help me to help others, and I'll hopefully see you again.